everybody, welcome to Back Issues of Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Boy, it's been a while since we returned to the Marvel Universe Versiverse, but here we are.
No.
Jonathan Mayberry's magnum opus, where he's like, let's just kill the Marvel Universe in 3 confusing volumes, is rolling forward. It's been a while. I promised that we would do all 3 chapters. We did the first one, Marvel Universe versus Wolverine, and now we're getting into Marvel Universe versus the Avengers.
Now, okay, this is a separate, it's in the same universe, but it's not in the same continuity,
Okay,
right?
it is in the same continuity. It's weird, actually. So, okay.
Is it both? Okay.
The Marvel Universe Versiverse is a universe in the Marvel Universe multiverse in which there is a virus. Not unlike the Marvel Zombies verse, but instead of them turning into zombies, they turn into horrible cannibalistic monsters, not zombies
Non-zombies.
specifically.
They're not undead.
But they're still cannibalistic monsters. They will eat other people.
They eat other people,
and they don't have control over themselves.
But they're not.
and they don't have
undead,
like
though,
the yes, but they're not undead.
So they haven't died first. That's
Right.
the only distinction.
Pretty much, and they're not like rotting. You know, they're just they are alive. They are changed. In fact, I think that the eggheads in the previous volume establish that like their DNA has changed. So like they are almost like it's almost like I Am Legend meets Marvel Zombies.
I was going to say it's kind of like I Am Legend.
It is very much I Am Legend. But Jonathan Mayberry wrote
they're
this.
not vampires.
But they're not vampires,
No.
nor are they zombies. These are something else, and it's really hard to pin down, and there's no good name for them. Leonardo Fernandez does the art for this, and it's pretty cool. It's distinct enough from the previous volume and from the next volume. Each volume has a different artist on it. Okay. And each of those artists brings something different to the table. Of course, the previous one, Marvel Universe versus Wolverine. This one, Marvel Universe versus the Avengers. The last one, Marvel Universe versus the Punisher. Again, the idea
I feel
is
like they should have done Marvel Universe versus Magneto.
Magneto's gone.
He's always done that.
Yeah, well, maybe
He's always been against the Marvel Universe.
that's true. Maybe I didn't want to deal with that. Now, the other thing about this, in terms of story, is we established like the virus has happened. It took hold. It messed things up. We saw kind of like where it goes. That's why I brought the first volume in there just to refresh ourselves because it's been about 2 years since we talked about it.
Yeah.
But obviously Wolverine is immune. And in fact, many of these characters happen to be immune, although many more are not.
Right.
We also found out that like the eggheads have kind of like retreated to the Arctic, where they are feverishly working on a cure.
But not the Illuminati.
No. Well, members of the Illuminati, but it wasn't an Illuminati decision.
Okay.
And so we'll see like some overlap between the 2 stories because Wolverine has kind of his own adventure that is also cemented firmly in these characters who are also the protagonists of their own volume. But that one was distinctly Wolverine, even though we also got like really deep insights into like Reed Richards and Black Panther and so forth.
Right.
Or you
This
mean
one-
they like rounded out the universe and gave good backstory?
Exactly. And this one is more like Hawkeye is the main character.
Okay.
Also, don't forget in the previous volume, a couple of hits. Captain America succumbs and Punisher executes him.
Right.
It's a great moment where Punisher and Captain America are like holding a line, and then Cap's like, "Oh, I'm starting to change," and he's like, "You're gonna have to take me out, Castle." And Castle goes, "You were always my hero." Bam.
Yeah.
And it's sad, and you're like, "Okay, cool."
Like, I'm going to say that, but I'm not hesitating.
No, that's
Well,
the
yeah.
thing about Frank Castle is that he's just as much of a monster as everybody here. But yeah, so we saw kind of like the insight into Wolverine. Again, it was Marvel Universe versus Wolverine. We didn't really get a lot of X-Men. And
No.
we're not going to get that in this or in the next one. So don't worry about it.
They're just not really.
They didn't make it. Wolverine kills most of them anyway.
Right.
So
We only wanted Wolverine from the X-Men. We don't
Yeah.
really want the others.
we didn't need any more.
He goes all Berserker Barrage on them.
Naturally. We didn't need to see like what Professor X had to say or watch him do anything. Like
Wouldn't what happened to Professor X be pretty important? Like
Absolutely.
if a psychic went to the other
the
side?
world's biggest psychic, maybe like compelling everyone to come to his house and like fall asleep so he can eat them like one by one. I mean, like, yeah, absolutely. A lot of world building from Mayberry, and again, there's been no insight into like why this exists,
Right.
where it came from, and like what compelled Marvel to go 3 4-issue volumes of this miserable, dour story.
So, how many issues consist of miniseries?
I mean,
Average.
it could be anything. You could have a one-shot, but like a miniseries is typically anywhere between 3 and 12.
Okay, 3 and 12. So this is like a miniseries up to 12 issues that is broken into 3 parts like it's a trilogy.
Yeah, maybe he even pitched it as a 12-issue miniseries, and they were like, "Nah, we'll get more money if it's 3 4-issue miniseries."
Oh my
Lord
God.
of the Rings, Star Wars again, Star Wars a third time. All these trilogies keep making money.
That's true. I mean, you know what? not wrong. And I think it captivates the imagination. Although maybe it did when it came out, but now obviously forgotten. No one remembers the Verse-a-Verse.
Yes.
Or refers to it.
Did these all come out like within like a year of each
Yeah,
other?
no, there was no they didn't waste any time or bury the lead. They were like boom, boom, boom. Like I remember Marvel Universe versus Avengers, Marvel Universe with Wolverine, Punisher. Like I remember reading them kind of out of sequence. Like they were just coming out.
It seems like a bad idea.
It was a terrible idea, but I guess it sold. They made all 3 of them.
Right.
If you watch this episode and you like it, it's in the comments down below. Pick up this copy. There's more to follow. 1 more volume left. And then we can finish the chapter of the Verse-a-Verse.
Right.
And we know, because it's been like 10 years, like they're never going to do more.
So wait a second. I gotta try and figure this out.
Yeah.
Wolverine has a healing factor.
Right.
But essentially he just stabs people.
Yeah.
His power is knives. Hawkeye's power is arrows. Punisher's power is bullets.
Yes.
These are essentially all just people with weapons.
Yeah, it's you're sensing a theme here, like a regular guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Kinda. Pretty much.
Ish, yeah.
Except for Captain America, but it's more
And Wolverine's
interesting
not
to watch him
really.
die.
Wolverine's not really a regular guy. He's like invincible.
He is
essentially.
Yes.
Right, but for whatever reason, people seem to consider him like an everyman.
Yeah.
Like, people love to humanize Wolverine.
Because
even
he
though
doesn't project energy or projectiles.
Yeah,
so
he's
he's got to get up close and personal.
Exactly.
No, he just projects insults and Canadian
I mean, he
slander.
could just walk up to his assailant and then just like push them off the edge of the earth. Like he doesn't need to have knives. He doesn't need to have like a berserker rage. Like he is invincible. Mm-hmm. I mean, inevitably, depending on who he's fighting, he could be slowed down or stopped. Like if he's fighting Juggernaut could throw him across the country, or
Right.
if he's fighting a character with other blades, like he could be cut into pieces, but he eventually will grow back.
Right.
And so he's more or less the Terminator. It'd be like if the Terminator was chasing after you. But the Terminator also like normally doesn't crush people's heads or like have knives. Like he has guns and he uses some kind of weapons, to see his ends succeeded. But with Wolverine, there's also the iconography of the blades and the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess his weapons make him by default a street level character.
Exactly.
Because he can't project his power outward.
Right,
from
he's not going to
himself.
reverse the magnetic poles of the earth.
Right.
But he
or
could,
even create a tornado.
No.
But he
could
could
go
kill
to-
anyone he
But
wants.
he could kill literally anybody.
like one person at a time.
Yeah.
one person at a time.
If he wanted to.
He could destabilize entire nations.
Yeah.
Because he
chose to.
wants to.
Because he cannot be stopped in
Right?
that kind of way.
But he's just, thankfully, he'd rather get like drunk.
Yeah. And pine after some redhead.
Some redhead,
Yeah, what happened in the Wolverine? Is Wolverine still alive? Is he dead?
Right, we don't really get to see it, but we see like it's funny. You'll see occasional like glimpses of like what's going on, and you'll see like the rest of a scene from that,
Oh.
and even implications of what's going to happen in the next volume. But they don't really have any bearing on the main plot, which I do appreciate. It's kind of like
Right.
here's some
'Cause
ideas,
then you can read this
and just enjoy
alone.
it. Yeah. I
It's
wouldn't.
Easter eggs.
It would, but also like, why would you? Ooh, Marvel Universe versus Avengers, cool. That was a freaking misery fest. What's that all about? And it's like, nothing. I mean, you could easily read this by itself, and that Punisher, you'd be like, what's happening? Because it's the last chapter.
Right. So they got to actually end things.
Yeah, but Hawkeye's doing his thing. And Hawkeye is, of course, the main character. He is the protagonist. For the most part, Clint Barton is unhappy, as you can imagine. He is.
Oh, that's so weird, because he's such a jovial character all the time.
Yeah. No, he's, he really leans into his bastardom. But he was also like, I'm changed. Like, I used to be a superhero. I used to be, like, on the Avengers. I am an Avenger, but
Now I'm just a murderer.
what does that mean? Yeah. All I do now is just kill people I used to know. And we see him like go through one of the skyscrapers and ultimately come upon Bobby Moore's Mockingbird, his former wife, and just has to kill her too. And we see that he's sad to do it, but he also doesn't hesitate.
Right.
So he kills her, cradles her body, moves on. He's going from building to building, kind of clearing things out.
I mean, does he cradle her body? Sure. Is he also recovering his arrow? Probably.
Definitely. This is a place of limited resources. I'm recovering that arrow.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the mechanics of this universe.
Yeah.
How do they get infected or not infected?
So what's revealed in this is that everyone is already infected.
Oh, okay.
It's
But just
a
some
question of
people have
what
turned
your-
and some people haven't?
Exactly.
Yeah, like I guess your metabolism.
Because like
Your guess
Wolverine,
is
like,
good as mine.
Wolverine can't be whatever.
Well, and
he would just
Deadpool is
heal.
also infected, but unlike Wolverine, who just doesn't get sick, Deadpool is infected and wants to eat meat that is to say people, but pretends not to. And in fact helps the heroes, but also does consume human flesh when they're not looking.
Oh, that's about right. Okay.
And it's kind of a problem, but it's a ticking clock that we'll deal with in the 3rd volume.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be hilarious if he was just eating himself.
Yeah.
Because then he can just regenerate from that and still craves or cures that crave.
That's right. Yeah. He scratches that itch.
Exactly.
There are cannibalistic Deadpools throughout the multiverse that do similar things to what you're describing. But ironically not in the one where he's literally a cannibal.
But what is the logic behind like Clint not getting infected, like, or not getting sick?
They don't know.
Nobody knows.
That's the
Okay.
thing. It's like it's one of those things
random.
where they're just like, we don't know where it came from, if anyone perpetrated it, why it's doing this.
Okay.
So similar to The Walking Dead, where like if you die, you're going to be reanimated as a zombie.
I don't know about that.
With this one, it's not if you
I see.
die. It's just at some point
You will
you're
get sick.
going to turn.
Well, no, I think
Unless
it's
Like
something
everyone
was-
has it.
Everyone has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people
some people are
statistically
immune.
you will probably turn.
Or some people are carriers, maybe non-symptomatic carriers.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, we don't see this like, oh no, I've been infected moment.
Right.
Like that's off the table.
Right.
And in fact, when they reveal it here, it's just kind of like, we're trying to stem the tide. Like, we want to make sure we're not infected. And someone shows up and goes, you already are. The world it's over. Like, stop trying to fight against infection.
Right.
That part is done.
Right.
The world is already infected. How? Anyway, so
Some government force would be like, hey, what alien race do we hate? Let's invite them to Earth and infect them.
yeah, but then you're basically dooming the galaxy.
Yeah.
I mean, but you might as well.
I mean, yeah, imagine the American government would do that.
I mean, I imagine any government would do that at this point. I'm taking the whole damn galaxy with me. So they're trying to do their best. There's fights breaking out. There's still a remnant of a government, like S.H.I.E.L.D., such that it exists. It's run by Nick Fury, and he's just coordinating with the remaining Avengers. They're trying to stem it from overflowing from Manhattan outward, even though what they don't know is that the world has already fallen.
Right.
But Captain America gives a rousing speech, and we see Wolverine's there, and he's like, I'm going to go be in my own book. Goodbye. And so the Avengers assemble, and they rally, and they do their best, and the eggheads get together, and they try to work on their cure, but they don't succeed. And we saw all of that earlier.
Yeah.
But we do see that, like, the Avengers kind of stick together and do their best. We see Thor and Hawkeye and Captain America, and they all just do their best. And what Hawkeye recognizes is that, like, it's not doing any good. Like, every day I get up, I dress like Hawkeye, because you have to choose to do that, right? If the apocalypse has come, you have to choose to dress like a superhero anymore. But that being said, he is clearly wearing, like, scale mail, but, like, you do have exposed arms. But again, like I said, it's not like Walking Dead, where it's like you get bit, you turn in. You're already turned.
Yeah.
But Hawkeye's just like, this is not working. And
We're not making any headway.
Fury's funny because he's basically like, yeah. And on the deck of the helicarrier, people are already turned. Like, S.H.I.E.L.D's done too. And in fact, the helicarrier is being followed by like a kind of spaceship, like a little miniature craft. And they're like, what's that all about? And they never really address that until much later.
Okay.
But nobody really cares either. They're kind of like, one thing at a time.
Yeah, we got bigger problems down here.
They're like, who cares if the Skrulls are rubbernecking?
I was really hoping it's like, oh no, the ship is infected. It's going to eat this ship.
Hi, Mr. Frumbles! There's a moment where, like, at the end of every day, they all, like, get together and they go to, like, a stadium or what's going to be later the Javits, and they get screened. And Hawkeye goes to the screener and he's like, look, I haven't been transformed. Odds are I'm not going to at this point. Like, I'm immune. And she's like, no one's immune, pee in the cup.
Okay.
There's regular people in this too. I really appreciate that, like, it's
not
all
just
about
heroes.
It's not just the heroes. It's not just like the heroes have an outpost, like in Age of Ultron, where they're like, the world's fallen and it's only us with our colorful costumes and our, like, 401ks. It's everybody. Everyone's, like, kind of together.
Oh, and this is Margaret and John.
Right. And Giant Man. So
How come nobody's like screaming at Clint like, why didn't you save us?
because it's already implied. Like, everything's already at this point, we've done that already. That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I already screamed at you. That nothing more to really say.
Great, she's hoarse at this point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Karen's she's exhausted.
She's exhausted
from
at
yelling
this
at
point.
people.
Yep.
For her problems.
Well, odds are she'll get eaten at some point.
Right.
Then I don't have to worry about it. But we see that like certain characters do succumb. Lesser characters we don't really care about, like D-Man. And we see that like D-Man. Let's not get into Demolition Man. But like they talk about how they're like, well, what we do with the infected is we put them into like a special location for further study and to hopefully fix them. No, we assassinate them around the corner.
Yeah, and throw them in a pile.
Literally, we just like Doc can just slice his head off and throws him over there.
They don't tell people that they're saving them, right?
No, they tell them like, well,
They're going into quarantine.
they're going into quarantine. We put them into like isolation.
Because then people won't be like, but that's my husband.
Right, or like, I know that's where my future is around the chemical sheds.
What do you care? You'll be turning crazy at that point.
Exactly. It's harder.
Yeah, but I'll still be able to
cognitize.
talk and stuff. Yeah. So like, I won't want to be dead.
No. Hawkeye is losing faith, obviously, like anyone would in this universe. Hawkeye chats with Jessica Jones. Luke Cage is turned, and it's done. Like, she's just like, oh, God, you got to get to me, Clint. And it's just like, he doesn't go, no. It's just, it's too late.
Right.
Yeah, he's got impenetrable skin.
He hears...
What am I going to do?
He hears her be consumed, like on the phone.
Oh.
And then while that's happening, Captain America is being assassinated by Punisher. And he's like, no, damn it!
Oh, God.
And he attacks castle after castle, one-shots Cap. And he's like, you son of a bitch, I knew it, you're one of them. And he's like, no, man, look at him. He was going to turn, you idiot. And then they both just look at Captain America's dead body together like, this universe sucks.
Damn it!
Why is this being written? Why are we here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Volume 2. You know? But the Avengers are also dealing with, like, the superpowered evil people, like the Jackal and the Juggernaut.
Yeah, these are people that still have their faculties. Can the people that are turned still use their powers?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a real problem.
But then, suddenly, that mysterious craft lands and Doctor Doom comes out of it. And he's like,
Nice.
it's over, I'm going to save the world. Neil.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. We also see that he's wearing clearly like some kind of
Biosuit, hazard suit.
like a special armor that protects him, and a special fancy jewel as well. Oh. Just kind of a throwback to Emperor Doom. Doom loves jewelry, and implementing jewelry into his like alchemy. So we'll see that later.
Well, I mean, it's probably a soul stone. Those are very important in crafting magical items.
They straight up aren't. Just the one, and it's a soul gem. And
no, I'm thinking of like Bethesda.
oh, I see.
Yeah, Skyrim.
Different
stuff.
franchise.
Different franchise, yeah. Well, you can't be crossing over your soul stones.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
That's true.
Yeah, we don't know the conversion rate.
Although I would say it'd be interesting to see, like, they would just, it would be one panel, the soul gem. Like Soul World. Like, oh, we'll get everybody into Soul World. Nope, it's just like a horrible nightmare realm.
Yeah, like it's already in there.
Adam Warlock's there, just like,
It's like, I don't think you
Thanos.
understand. This is an evil. Everyone's infected.
Yeah.
It got in here too.
Yeah.
It would start here, you know.
It actually came from the soul.
Right, exactly, because lurking in the souls of mankind is this like desire to eat each other.
Right.
Yeah, Shadow.
So Doom's like, I'm here, I did it, yay. And they're all like,
Did what?
I figured it out. I figured it out, and I've cured it, and I'm good. So all I want you guys to do now is kneel before me, and I will give you the cure.
You don't have a cure.
I'm pretty sure if I kneel before you in about 10 seconds, you're gonna eat me.
Yeah.
Well, he does seem to be pretty rational.
Right. He's not like meat.
Which is literally I wrote in this book.
Like, don't worry, everyone. I'm meat. I've solved the meat. I've solved the meat.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put an arrow through your eye.
No. I'm a meat.
So Hawkeye like calls Reed Richards and the rest like while they're operating on dead bodies, and he's like,
Hey, Doom's here.
Doom's here. He has something to say. What are we gonna do about this? And Reed's like, I don't know. I wouldn't trust him.
I don't know about that guy.
I wouldn't trust Doom. You don't
You know what I'm
say.
saying? Well, of course he's like elbow deep in a man, and he's like he's a monster. And you're like, I see what you're saying. What biting social commentary. But eventually Thor just loses it. He's like, that's enough. No, we're not entertaining Doom. So he attacks him. Right. And Doom's like, oh, I see how it is.
Oh, you don't want?
Oh, that's not fair. And they're like, look, we all know that like Latveria's eaten itself alive. And he's like, it isn't. And then he proceeds to like show a holographic projection of what's going on in Latveria right now. And we see that everybody's just walking around having a good time, but they are also wearing these like jewels around their necks. And Doom's like, yeah, and if you want things to be just as good as they are in Latveria, then all you have to do is accept me as the unquestioned Lord and Master of the Earth. And they're like, oh, is that all?
Yeah,
Oh, that's easy.
Pass.
So they fight. Doctor Strange tries to use magic and he fails because like we need to nerf Doctor Strange in order for this to work. That's all I can say. It's
Right.
Like, you know,
Like, why would he fail?
right?
Doom
Why would he
has
fail?
magic. I guess you could say that, like
Yeah, but he's
there's
not
some
Sorcerer
counter
Supreme.
spell
But he's
or
not.
protection.
But he's not Sorcerer Supreme. Like he is by law, magic law, less powerful.
At magic.
Yes.
Maybe Doom could beat him with some kind of tech or something.
Yes. And that's what Doom obviously has a
moves
combination,
faster
a
than
marriage
ever.
of tech
Right.
and magic.
Look, I get that, but just because someone's power level in magic is higher doesn't mean that someone can't just be like Avada Kedavra and kill you.
Well, it does in the, in the
A
Marvel
second year
universe.
could do that.
The thing is, if someone who's as much weaker than Doctor Strange at magic as Doom is able to like prevent
him.
being beat, you have to come with a reason.
Yeah.
You have to say
You
like,
can't just
I found
have
the thing
Doctor
that
Strange
does it.
go, oh, and then just fail.
Oh, it
and
didn't
you're-
work.
Like,
I mean, you could give them the benefit of the doubt that Doom thought of some way to counter his magic, but like you should say it in the book because people are going to ask.
Just kill Doctor Strange. Like,
right.
if-
Yeah, just
if-
don't even have him in the book.
Don't have him in the
Yeah,
book. Don't
he-
address the question.
Right, yeah. Because now you're
Or
begging
he's
it.
like using 85% of his magic power to keep himself sane,
Boom.
so he can only use like
there you
50% of
go.
his magic.
See,
That's-
that would be good writing.
I love it. Yeah. So they're fighting Doom. You know, it's just devolving. And then Hercules shows up, adorned with a necklace of heads. And his harem. Because Hercules like went subterranean, collected all the moloids, turned them, and now he and his army of moloids are here to eat everybody.
Oh my God.
And you're like, okay, what?
Why would Hercules
Why would
do
Hercules
that?
do that? Why wouldn't it be Mole Man? But it's so that Hercules could be formidable and scary.
Right,
Mole
which
Man
he
is
normally
not.
wouldn't be.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay.
That's random.
So
Okay.
Doom's like, well, looks like you guys have something to deal with. Well, I'm going to go. You guys go ahead and let the world fall apart under Hercules' attack.
You know, Hercules is like, I'm gonna go all Mad Titan on you and eat you.
Yeah, so that it goes to hell. And meanwhile, Hawkeye goes to Dr. Doom. Hawkeye's our protagonist.
Right.
And he's like, oh, shut up, Doom. Like, help.
Yeah.
You want to be in charge, lead. You want to prove that you're better than us, succeed.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah. So
Oh.
Doom flashes Hercules.
Oh, okay.
And,
He's
and
like,
joins
all
the
right.
fray. Okay. It takes some compelling, but eventually he does jump into the fray and uses his magic and his alchemy and his weapons and just and helps.
Especially that amulet.
Oh yes, yes. Well, the amulet is there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
and there
stuff
is
emanating
stuff
from it.
coming from
Only
it.
that one time,
Well, it's hard to tell. There's stuff around all
because
around
his
it.
magic's all green anyway.
Yeah.
You never know. Right now it is, but like yeah. So the battle is won. Doom is victorious. Everyone else just kind of standing there like an idiot. And Doom's like, kneel. And so they do. Because they're kind of like, well, Reed hasn't called back to say like, no, I
Right.
just
We don't
didn't-
actually have any other options.
Yeah. So Doom sets up shop in the Baxter Building, of course. Haha, what a dick. And he has a Renfield or a like court jester in the form of Deadpool. Deadpool, of course, will break the fourth wall and do different things. He dressed like a French maid, ha ha ha. But also, of course, he's a cannibal and he's eating people. But like
Right.
only, and he's talking about it out loud, like anyone who would stand to lose from that should be paying attention to, but they don't.
But they don't.
Let's not worry about
So
that.
maybe they don't hear him because he's talking to us or something.
Maybe he's only talking to us directly.
Yeah, we can't hear him, and it just sounds like mumbles when he talks to the fourth wall.
He should be speaking in like caption boxes because that's only really for our benefit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Hawkeye is kneeling before him as everyone is supposed to do. Everyone's supposed to pay homage to Doom. Every day, meet with me, kneel before me, give me my lowdown. And Doom's like, okay.
Kiss the ring.
Basically. And so Doom implements like his plan to save New York. First of all, we got to quell this whole New York problem. So they start whipping up new technology, putting up like fences, big old sci-fi fences around the area to keep out the infected and keep in the people who need protection.
Right.
They have to pass that with the HOA, though.
Doom took over the HOA board.
Yeah, which was tough to do. That
Yeah.
was like his hardest fought battle in his life.
I don't understand why they needed Doom for this. Anybody could have thought of putting up an electric fence.
I think it's because the heroes were still fighting, and they were like, "Oh, it's just another Tuesday."
Right.
Even though many of us have died.
None of them could think, like, maybe we should, like, come up with a plan to, like, fortify the city.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they didn't have long-term plans yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. I thought Doom was going to, like, provide them the secret.
Well, he is.
Oh.
Yeah, and they are in the form of his Doomstones, those gems.
Yeah.
And they discover that when you put the Doomstone around the necks of the infected, it reverts them into like a kind of brain-dead state. They just kind of like go...
Oh. They become docile.
They become docile.
But they don't revert back to their normal selves.
No, they
like,
don't.
Once you've turned, that's it.
It's true, yes. But
Okay, that's a good
they
thing.
keep you from eating anybody.
Yes, but that's good because that means that all those people they killed couldn't have been saved.
Right. That would be
That's a very important distinction to
horrifying.
make.
Yeah.
Agreed.
People be like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, everyone has killed someone they love.
Yeah.
So...
Can they use them as, like, laborers? Or do they just...
No, they just kind of collapse.
Oh. That's not very useful because it's harder to put that thing on people than it is to just kill them.
Yes. But
How
also...
are they churning
since-
out these stones?
I don't know. Doom must be in like mass production for that. Like he must have like a
Maybe a lot
thing with
Mary has a
Alibaba or
factory,
something
is
like that.
importing
Yeah,
them. I don't know.
Definitely. So
Are there ones that are like better quality than others, and some of them are just like
Cheap
that one's
knockoffs?
still kind of twitching. I think we got a default.
mine's kind of Doom plated. No, they're all legit. But they're also wearing them themselves to protect themselves from the infection as well. Like the idea is that if you wear it, it protects you. It prevents you from turning. But if you have already turned, then you are like turned into like a kind of like puppet.
I see.
So
Is this somehow like the Eclipso stones?
No. It's nothing like Eclipso, thankfully. but everybody's now,
Got
wearing
stones,
this awesome jewelry. They set up shop in the Javits Center, which
That's
I
really
appreciate.
cool. It's very well depicted. That
Right? I'm
looks
like,
exactly
I know
like
exactly
it.
what that is.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go to a glass place. That'll be perfect to fortify
We can
ourselves
see
against.
the bad guys coming.
Yeah. So Hawkeye and Thor have like a fundamental conversation about this. They have an issue with it.
Right. They're like, what are we doing?
Yes. Like this is
We
not
can't let Doom run things.
A, Doom's running things. B, this is not a cure.
Right.
Like this is we've stagnated.
It's better than falling.
And
That's Hawkeye's argument.
and Thor can't go home.
No, he can't.
He'll infect Asgard.
He's not. Well, he as far as Thor's concerned, he's like, I'm not infected. Like I'm Asgardian.
You're right. This is a human disease. It seems kind of like a human problem.
Yes.
I mean, he's an Avenger, so that's fine. But no,
Yeah. And so Hawkeye offers Thor like a Doomstone. Thor smashes it, and he's like, "No, I'm not gonna wear a dog collar. Like I'm done. You know what? Whatever. Like I've got other worlds to save anyway." And so he leaves and goes to Asgard. So Thor has abandoned them. It was just, of course, a great metaphor. Every time Thor abandons, it's like, "Oh, God's left us."
Right.
So, but the Avengers are
Yikes.
falling apart, even though we've killed Captain America.
or possibly because.
Right.
Yeah, but Hawkeye's sad. He looks across like the bell tower and he sees that Frank's just out there. Just Frank Cass is just like, "Hey, if you ever need me, I've got another solution for you." And believe it or not, it involves shooting people.
No, really?
You're gonna run out of bullets. Right? There's nobody to make them anymore.
Yeah, they've made a lot of bullets.
And Frank can make his own.
And I saved a lot myself. so-
Exactly. Yeah, I already had a small army's worth myself. So we see.
And now that most people are dead, I could just steal them.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. The thing about these guys is they're not shooting back.
Even though they can
Which
use
is-
their powers, so they should be able to use guns
Oh,
too.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess-
But they don't.
They choose not
I
to.
guess because they're
not-
trying to eat you.
They're not that intelligent.
No.
Like, they're not-
Well, their primal instincts have taken over. They supersede
Right.
their intelligence.
Yeah, so like someone's primal instinct could let them use their power. Like
Yeah.
Hitman could get big
Yeah, to
and
eat
grab
you.
people and eat.
Yeah, it's like
but
a
it's not like they
reflex.
can come up with like complex strategies to try and like trap people and eat them.
Right.
Right.
Or
Only the most like obvious things occur to
yeah.
them.
Although in the inverse, Ant-Man could shrink down and then eat you forever.
Right.
Get inside of you and just be like. You're like, ow, I have like an infection or something. And it's like, yeah, you do. That's
Yeah, but eventually he's
horrific.
going to eat like a blood vessel in your brain. You're just going to die.
Boom, there you go. And then he'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, but
That'd be horrific.
wait, do they eat dead people too?
No. Well, they eat meat. Like Deadpool, when he's like bringing out the dead, he's literally wearing a Monty Python joke, and he's throwing the corpses that are like charred on the fences onto like pyres. He's like, "Ooh, that one still has a little bit of meat on it. Oh, don't let anybody know about that. That you're noticing that kind of thing."
Oh.
But so the idea is, I think, like if they rot, the meat is spoiled, and I'm not going to eat it.
Right.
So it's like he doesn't.
gotta be
They don't
fresh.
eat corpses. They got to be fresh.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they kill you, they'll eat you.
Until you go bad.
Right. They won't just be like, well, now you're dead. I'm not even going to eat you.
No, yeah. It's
You don't have to be like alive while they consume the meat. As soon as you die, they're not interested anymore. There's a period. Yeah, it's like I got 3 bites and then on to the next.
That's very
what a
wasteful.
waste. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not Lestat in what's his face.
An interview with
Interview
a
with a Vampire. We're like, oh, you can't drink the last drop, otherwise you'll take death into yourself.
Right. No, it's not like that. We also are gleaning like what's going on with other characters that we didn't really get a chance to look at. Like the whole world ends when Spider-Man eats Rhino. I think that was like the inciting incident, or the one that everybody saw on TV.
Right.
But we see that like some parts of the city are covered in webs. We just know Spider-Man's active over there.
Yeah,
Right.
catching people.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Although
So.
he's still, well, so wouldn't he run out of fluid?
Yeah.
He
but
should.
He should.
Also, the web should decay.
Oh, they do, yeah. Well, unless he changes the formula.
Yeah. Or he's just constantly producing more webs, but then he should run out.
Exactly.
He should run out, and he shouldn't be able to make more.
Right. But
maybe he
if
made
he's
a whole
intelligent
lot.
enough, if he's like a different type of person, a different type of monster.
I don't like that.
I know. So Hawkeye and Iron Man call up the Eggheads, who have now moved to colder areas,
Right.
as per the end of the Marvel Universe versus Wolverine.
Well, yeah, the virus can't survive in this temperature.
Yeah,
it's
like-
just they have longer to go, and most of them will freeze before they get to us, so it's okay. So they're like, we got to deal with these Doomstones. Like, I want to know more. Reed is like, I want to know more about the Doomstones.
Right.
Like, are they a placebo? Are they real? Do they work? It might be invaluable. We're not getting any farther in our research anyway. So they give Quicksilver a Doomstone and they send him on their way.
I forgot if we asked this in the previous book.
It's been a couple of years.
Do animals get infected too?
Right.
Like, would you find just a deer out in the wild suddenly like trying to eat a person?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think that animals are safe.
Okay, because then I could think like if you go underwater,
Right. You could go to Atlantis. Yeah.
that would be much safer.
Yeah. It's not anyone who's gonna eat you that's a human won't reach you before
Right.
they drown.
Right. The animal thing made me think of this. Does eating an animal satisfy
Their
hunger? Like, do they target animals, or they only
No,
target
it has
other
to
people?
be each other. Like, it is cannibalistic in nature.
Okay.
It has to be each other. I don't know why.
We are the sweetest of meats.
Yes.
So the animals are just sitting back like,
whoo, just wait. They'll tire each other out, and then we get the Earth back.
I like that.
I like that. So Hawkeye and Iron Man take a breather before one of their own is like, the safety camp got attacked. She-Hulk was protecting the safety camp, but she freaked out. Now she's a monster. Uh-oh. So they go to the safety camp, which is also, of course, in the Javits. And
Okay.
it's a
Yikes.
it's a bloodbath.
Why is it called the safety camp?
I think because like that's where they keep most of the people.
Okay.
So they might as well called it a cattle ranch
Yeah.
instead of a safety camp.
Where's Doom when the safety camp is falling?
Well, that's what Hawkeye wants to know. So Hawkeye goes to Doom. He's like, hey, Doom, it's not working. And, of course, he sees that Doom is over Dawkins' dead body. Dawkins had turned, so they put a Doomstone on him. And Doom is, like, messing with the stone on Dawkins. And then he's like, hey, shut up. Like, don't talk to me. Don't give me a hard time about what you want versus what I can do. And then we see that Dawkins wakes up from his thrall. And he's got his Doomstone on. And Hawkeye's like, holy shit, like you fixed him. Like you cured him. And Dawkins starts crying and being like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm a bad boy. I did the wrong thing. And starts sucking his thumb. And they're like, oh, what the fuck?
He's not really back. He's kind of there.
And so Hawkeye is like, this is not a cure. You've essentially reverted him to a childlike state.
Right.
That's
Yeah, this is
That
a
that doesn't
babality.
help us.
right. And he's like, yeah, but that's better because at least now he's not a cannibal. Like he's a little kid.
Like, will he grow from this though?
No.
Well,
this is it.
Sounds like you made him into a burden.
Right. Yeah, but a burden's better than an aggressor.
A dead would be easier though.
Okay, but you know what would have really helped is if you'd done something about the people eating each
Yeah.
other in the safety area
Look,
instead of like turning this one guy
It's not an
into a
exact
child.
science. I'm working on it, all right? Come on. Give me a break. I'm doing better than Reed Richards.
That's all I want.
So Hawkeye goes to the Avengers and he's like, so yeah, like, this is where we are. And,
No
He
way.
goes to the Avengers that are left.
yes.
Yeah.
And the Avengers are basically just like, this is a problem. Like, we need to know more about, like, what's going on with these Doomstones, what Doom is up to, why he's doing this. Like, this is an Avengers comic now. Like, the world, the apocalypse has occurred. We should be dealing with, like, survival, but the Avengers are like, how are we going to stop Dr. Doom?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm really glad he saved us, and he's got these stones on us, and we're fine.
Yeah.
But how are we going to stop him?
Yes.
Well,
or at least, what is he up to?
yeah, something's wrong.
Right.
Something's not correct
Everything is
here.
wrong. Everything is broken.
When is he ever up to good?
That'd be like being on the Titanic and you're upside down and you're like, someone's raiding the safe. Like, priorities.
Yeah, I'm going to get on one of those lifeboats, but I'm going to be rich when I do.
Or you'll sink. So Hawkeye is like, I'm going to go deal with Doom. And then he sees that Deadpool is dragging a, like, bag full of suspicious meat. So Hawkeye follows him.
Like, what the hell?
Hawkeye follows him, and what he discovers is one of my most, like, disturbed moments in this book, which is Mystique has been captured and trussed up like a suckling pig, and they shoved an apple in her mouth, and Doom is ready to eat her.
Wait, Doom
Yeah.
is eating people?
Yeah. Doom's been infected the whole time.
Even though he's got a stone on.
Yeah. Well, the stone keeps you, you know,
Cognizant.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it gives him his faculties
Yes.
enough that he can come up with a complex plan.
Uh-huh. But also
that
he's a
most
cannibal.
Yeah, right.
So Hawkeye's like, son of a bitch. He
Yeah,
actually just
that's
goes, Doom! I'm like, yeah, fair enough. He's like, you're infected. And he's like, dude, no.
Maybe he's yelling it like to scold him, like, Doom! Doom, you put that down!
Look at those hoes.
Don't you bite Mystique! You get that out of your mouth!
And I'm like, is Mystique dead? What's going on with Mystique?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It
doesn't come up. She's
I'm
dead.
like, but she's right there.
I guess she's dead.
I guess.
Why is it Mystique? It could have been anybody.
I guess so that you can immediately recognize her.
Right.
Because she's blue.
It's just weird because then you think it's going to be important that
I know,
it's
like
Mystique.
she transforms. Like, is she somebody else?
Right.
So Doom is like, no, I'm not infected. I'm transformed. Like, we're different. It's I Am Legend. We're the inheritors of the Earth. This is their new standard.
Right.
And he's like, oh man, I'm an idiot. We're idiots. I can't believe we fell for you. I can't believe I kneeled.
Yeah.
And Doom is like, yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, well, you
did.
can't take it back.
Exactly.
Yep.
So Hawkeye tries to call the Avengers, but of course his comm is scrambled because the Doomstones interfere with that. And what else do the Doomstones do? Well, Doom can control them.
Yeah. I pretty much thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, everyone is wearing these garish Doomstones.
Yeah.
You know they're going to be a mind control device.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that his turn's red when he's...
Yeah, when you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
Hawkeye discards his and blows up Deadpool, and then goes to try and help the heroes. It doesn't work out. They are obviously when their Doomstone goes from green to red, they become.
Oh, that means they're under control.
They're under control of Doom, but also that they are now infected.
Oh,
Yeah,
it activates their.
meat-eating
It
faculties back.
activates it. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Even if it was previously dormant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
Wait, so
interesting.
it'll turn someone into...
It'll turn you into a cannibal.
Even if you were previously normal.
Yes.
Because everyone is technically infected.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I
mean, that sucks for them.
For them.
It's not bad,
I
right?
agree.
It just sucks.
No, I love that.
Huh. Interesting. So green means like docile. Red means like aggressive. And that's really the only distinction. Other than, I guess, people who previously turned also, they're not just docile, they're also like stupid.
Yeah.
Which implies that something about being taken over by it like renders you dumb.
Yes. Like there's something about the hippocampus that makes you like,
Even if you can later suppress the hunger,
Yeah.
it doesn't put you back.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Hawkeye meets up with like Black Widow and Punisher, and and then the rest of the Avengers like tear each other apart. It's just a disaster.
Right.
And
So they lose.
They lose, and Doom is like, "This is great. Now everyone will be food for me, and they can go get food for me."
Right.
Like, all right.
Right. He's doing the same thing he always did. It's just now it's as a cannibal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love seeing Black Widow, Frank, and Clint all together because Clint's like, man, yeah, like
Yeah.
really screwed up.
So much for the Avengers.
And Frank's like, that's fine. Like, I'll just kill everybody.
It's like it was over anyway.
I mean, I was never an Avenger, so I'm fine with this.
Yeah. He was just like, hope cripples you in the war. So
hope cripples you in the
hell,
war.
Frank? What are you fighting for then?
Yeah, why would you bother?
Because I just love killing. I'm a
I just
psycho.
enjoy the war. The purpose of war is war itself.
Boom. Like, this is who I am.
Right.
I kill. Hawkeye and the company call the eggheads at the in Alaska.
Yeah, it all went crabbed. It's real bad.
You know, you were right about those Doomstones. That was a real bad call.
Or he's like, yeah, I knew that months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant to email you about that.
Did you not get my message? Yeah, Black Panther explains, like, they're extensions of Doom's will. Like, Doom basically controls them. They're not monsters. They're puppets.
Right.
Doom's like, I need Red Hulk to go get food. Now I'm Red Hulk. Nah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yep. And
Something
everyone
we could have used yesterday.
Yeah.
all the civilians they saved are wearing them. So like
Yeah.
everyone in Manhattan is an extension of Doom and a cannibalistic monster.
Right.
And
Sweet.
yep.
He doesn't say like somehow the gem feeds back into him, right? It's like some kind of leech power.
No.
Okay.
It's not like feeding on their life essence or anything. So the Trinity like tries to go and like help them, but they all end up just killing them anyway. Like,
Right.
You know, by the time we got to their necks to get the thing off, like I had to kill them. It's just a mess.
By the Trinity, you mean like
Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow, Punisher, and Hawkeye?
Yeah. They
the
just
ones
go back.
who the book are about now.
Yeah, they go to back to the camp. And they're like, oh, let's try and save as many as we can, and they can't save anybody.
They save 0.
Zero.
Okay.
Yep. There's also a horrific moment where Iron Man is fighting with Red Hulk, and then Iron Man transforms, but his armor is broken, so he changes into like a meat eater, but he's trapped in the armor.
Why does his armor break?
Because Red Hulk broke it. He had punched him in
okay.
the wrong place.
I
So
see.
like now he's just like meat.
Yeah, he's a human statue.
And I'm like, oh,
Jeez.
no, thank you.
I mean, there's a solution. Give everyone Iron Man armor and break it.
Yeah, and then get a big magnet and throw it into the sun.
That's way harder than just shooting them.
It's way harder. Punisher's like, please. We see
I've almost got this armor around 1. Blam. Blam, 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 blam. There, I just took care of 20.
Thanks.
In the amount of time it took you to
Frank,
fail to take care
how
of
are we
1.
going to repopulate the Earth?
Oh, repopulate. That's
What?
never a possibility.
I'm not going to be able to do that. My family's dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Frank. So we see that like this whole thing just complete. We've got like 4 pages left.
Right.
Like we see in one screen.
Is that fucking Carnage?
Yeah, Carnage and Venom, they're transformed too.
That's it. It's over.
We don't even bother. Like we while Carnage and Venom are fighting, Spider-Man swoops in and grabs Black Widow. Whoop,
Oh.
just gone. Clint's like, fuck.
Good job, Clint.
That's it. Just whoop. And while they're all valiantly fighting, that is to say both of them, Frank and Clint, Loki and the Asgardians are watching it all happen on like magical view screens. Right. And they're like, whew, well, so much for Midgard.
So glad we dodged that hammer.
Yes. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Thor is like looking really upset. You know?
Yeah.
And maybe it's because he abandoned them, or maybe it's because he's infected.
Right. Maybe it's because he's hungry.
Probably that. So Hawkeye is like, okay. The world's over.
Right.
But I'm not going to like turn my bow around and shoot myself in the face. I'm going to kill Doom on a suicide mission. That's my plan. Like, Doom
Fair.
deserves it.
Yep.
Here we go.
That's what I would do as well.
Yeah. So Hawkeye just like loads himself with arrows and then goes to attack Doom and hits him with like an electromagnetic web arrow that like, you know, stops him from able to, or rather it distracts him and then just shoots him in the face. We see that like this pays off a lot of things. Like in the Wolverine book, one of Wolverine's claws gets broken off. Well, Hawkeye finds it clandestinely in this, and then he makes it into an arrow.
I wondered why he was making an arrow with a knife on the end of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
an
thought it was just an impromptu, like arrow.
Yeah, no, that's Wolverine's claw,
That's
which goes
awesome.
right through Doom's face.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, he's dead. And he walks out of the Baxter building like, we did it. Like, I beat Doom. And then, like, I guess killed the Doomstones and stuff like that.
Oh.
Whatever. Turns
Yeah.
them off, kills them, blows them up,
Well,
whatever.
if it was powered by his will, then his will's no longer
His will won't.
there.
So that's that.
Yeah, but that just means that rather than turning everyone green or red, they should just revert to normal.
Yeah, I
Whatever
guess
they
that's
were
true.
before they put it on,
Yeah,
I
all right.
guess.
Let's say that's what
But
happens.
but is there anyone left?
Well, that's he like does an all call to the Avengers. Where
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, it's me, sound off," and we just see like, no,
They're all gone.
everyone's like either a monster, dead.
Anybody? Everybody copy.
Oh, he's like in an alley. He's like, am I alone? And we see like Frank just like walk in the other direction.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Clint's like, I'm the last Avenger. Well, you know what? Like, that's apropos. You know, I'm gonna just have to avenge the world. Like, I'll find some stragglers, and then Thor descends from the heavens and caves his head in with a Mjolnir.
Oh my God.
What?
Why?
He comes back?
He comes back because Thor is also infected.
Right.
He's returned to eat.
Why didn't he I guess he killed everyone in Asgard maybe already.
Yeah. Thor killed Asgard. We don't even see that.
Off
That should
panel.
also be very hard. I know he's Thor,
Yeah,
but they're all Asgardians.
Yeah, it's true. They're
Yeah,
all
we got
Thor.
the drop on him.
Yeah. They didn't expect it. Plus, they were like, oh no, Thor, please, I love you.
Right.
Oh no, royalty.
Yeah, for a minute I thought that Thor killed Hawkeye because he thought Hawkeye was infected. I thought that it was going to be like Night of the Living Dead, where it was like, Thor's like, oh, I got one.
Right.
Like, no, you didn't.
And you're like, oh!
No!
But it's like, no, he's...
No, Thor has blood shooting out of his mouth. Like,
Oh, yeah.
He's infected.
Yeah.
I love how the narration just flips. It goes from Hawkeye being like, I will find a way to avenge the world. And then, blam. And then it switches to Frank, and he's like, War Journal Day 46. Hawkeye's dead. And now, there's no more. It's just them and me. That's the book.
He's got Spider-Man swinging on him. I don't think he's going to last too long.
Yeah, how
Would
would...
be surprised.
Okay.
Because of the last volume.
I know it was the last volume.
Frank versus Spider-Man.
But like...
Versus
what?
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Is it called that?
No.
Or is it still more...
It's called Marvel Universe versus Punisher.
Right, okay.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Is
feel like he's
Spider-Man
got...
dogging him, just like a one-on-one kind of thing.
You'll see. You wouldn't be able to predict it because you can't predict any of this crap.
It is quite random.
I hate the fact that I want to know more.
Right?
know.
I do want to know where this
It's
goes.
so frustrating.
Junk food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's total junk food. That's what's so frustrating about the Versaverse is that like it came out of nowhere, no one asked for it, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's at least compelling.
It's compelling. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't
Seems
know
well
why.
written.
And like,
Because
Yeah,
you want to
it's a
know.
misery fest.
it is. It's just.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, because every time you're like, well, how are they going to get out of this one?
They
Well,
don't.
how are they going to get out of this one? Well, how are they going to get out of this one? And at first, that is compelling.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh, they keep upping the stakes.
Yeah.
But eventually, if they never get out of it, then it makes you mad.
Yes, that's why there's only 3.
Right.
You know. And I think that's for the best also because like you don't milk it. You know, like the Versaverse isn't diverse. Like
Yeah.
there is no franchise here.
It's not out there somewhere
Right.
in the Marvel multiverse.
I mean, even if it is, it's dead. You know, it's a 12-issue miniseries. There is a lot of callousness in it, where like characters are dispatched off panel or on panel, where you're like,
Yeah, wait, how? What?
doesn't matter.
well, that's just it. People are dying all the time in this book. We can't like.
We don't have time.
Right.
That's the reality of this world.
Yes.
Is that your friends, the people you care about, are dying left and right, and that's not the point.
Yep.
Right.
The
You can't
point is
can't
that
focus on
you
any
have
one
to
of
keep
them.
surviving. You have to keep pushing forward.
Right. Well, and I love
Except you
how
won't.
you die, and then the next one.
Yep.
Well, let's see what he's up to.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna try to do the same. Oh, nope, he didn't make it either. All right. Well,
Yeah.
maybe another one. Well, oh, nope. Well, now the Punisher.
Right. So we got one more chapter, and maybe we'll get to it this year. I hope so, because I'd like to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Especially because the third one, you're like, oh, now we're in schlock country.
Oh, great.
Maybe they're still writing. I feel like it could do some more.
You say, I guarantee we're not getting any more than 2024.
Oh my god, that's
Just
that's
to prove. Oh yeah. Oh, we're not getting any more. Well,
Oh, yeah?
what about this Sal
Also,
Capelli?
you comic pop.
all right. Fine. Oh no. But thanks for watching, everybody. Well, we'll see you guys next week with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Keep reading. I feel like it's a trope, but I don't see it very often. Where he's like, you know what? I found my hope. I'm gonna do it. And you
Yeah.
know he dies.
He doesn't even know how wrong he was.
He's so wrong. He ended like The Sopranos.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to worry about it.
that's true. he died with hope in his heart.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's
Just the way he wanted.
actually is a feel good book.
He also died with Mjolnir in
I mean,
his skull.
he did at least defeat Doom.
He
like,
did.
there is one victory in this book.
Yeah.
And it is that Hawkeye does fucking kill Doom.
That's true.